previous video, we talked about wellness and how wellness is a continuum and how we want to figure out where on the continuum we are and how to move up the continuum to become more well. That's going to require some changes in our life. So how does change work? Well, there's been a number of different models that have tried to explain how change works, but a very accepted one is what's referred to as the trans-theoretical model of change, sometimes referred to as the stages of change theory. And it says that we go through different stages each time that we need to make a change. So when we do so, we also start at a stage called pre-contemplation. Now, contemplation, another word for that's thinking. And so this is before we're even thinking about a change. Usually this is because we don't know a change is necessary. This is where education comes in and where we can bring awareness to a situation where you maybe didn't realize you weren't as well as you could be. So then you start to thinking about it, and we call that contemplation, where you kind of consider all the different things that you could try to change to become more well. And eventually you may decide on one or more of them. I usually recommend one at a time, but you could do more. And that moves you into the stage called preparation. Now, in preparation, you actually haven't started the change. You haven't started to exercise, or you haven't started to eat better, or you haven't started to read that book. But you're thinking about it and you're making some preparations. You're joining a gym. You're looking up different eating patterns. You're going to the library to look for the book that you might decide to read, right? And so at preparation, it's still some education involved here, but sometimes this is where motivation starts becoming more and more important. After the preparation has gone on for a while, eventually you will start with your change. At that point, we'll say that you are now in the action stage. Now, the action stage requires more motivation and more energy than any of the other stages. And typically, we consider that somebody has to be in the action stage for a minimum of 6 months before things start getting a little easier. So it's kind of a need to be in there for the long haul. Now, once it starts to become a habit, we can say that they've moved into sort of the final stage, and that is maintenance. Now, maintenance means you can stay in that stage for as long as you want. Now, some people decide that they may want to change what they're doing. For example, somebody who started a walking program may decide they want to start a running program, in which case they may terminate the walking program in order to start the running program. And in reality, now they're just changing from walking to running, so this process starts all over again. Now, this process is not without hiccups. Anytime that we try to make a change, there's going to be times when we don't do our change, right? We stop. And so if we stop our change for 2 weeks or less, this is what we call a lapse. This happens to everybody. Usually when this happens, you can then get going back right where you started from, right? As soon as you realize or as soon as you can. Now, if this period of time that you stop your change lasts for more than 2 weeks, well, we call this a relapse. If this occurs, then we may need to reassess and kind of back up a little bit in our plan. We may even need to kind of look at what happened and how could we avoid that barrier in the future. Either way, the best thing to do if this happens is to get back to it, right? Don't beat yourself up over it. That doesn't help anything. Just go back to your change or assess what you need to make adjustments in and then get back to your change as soon as possible, right now if you can. So, because I mentioned motivation being so important in the preparation, action, and maintenance stage, that's what we're going to talk about next.